Easy. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put 5 on it. 5-star, sure. I've literally just got back home from the game and it was scintillating. The quality of goals, I was fortunate to be behind the goal in the second half, so where we scored 4, and it was unbelievable. I'll touch on that. I'll touch on that as we get involved, man. But firstly, I just want to say that if you get the chance to go to the Emirates at any point this season, do it. Because honestly, there is something special that is building. I mean, obviously the results play a massive part, but it's the pre-game buzz, it's the smiles, the knowing nods and looks to one another. There's really I don't want to say an expectancy, but there's a real mystique in optimism of what can be. Do you know what I mean? And when you live in that land, anything's possible, and that's how it feels like we go into the games at the Emirates. You know, we're probably off the hardest week results wise that we've had this season, and that is a draw to Southampton away, which is becoming a bit of our bogey ground. Obviously, losing there last year, and I covered the Southampton game in my last video, but I still think that was mainly down to officiating. And then obviously losing midweek to PSV away. But perspective says that we were still top of the league after the draw, and we'd still qualified in Europe, even though we'd lost to PSV. So it just shows how far we've come as a team this season already to have, what's the terms that people throw at as, reality check and all this nonsense. And it's like, what, by drawing away when we got skanked by the referee and then losing to PSV, right? So today, for me, was a statement. That's how I went in. Everyone said that the Liverpool game was a statement. I didn't feel the Liverpool game was a statement. I felt like the Liverpool game was something that we had to approach to earn our own self-belief. Like, we believe how good we can be and how good we've been performing, but let's back ourselves against one of the best teams that have been over the past over many years, and let's see what we can do. And yeah, they might be on a bit of a slump now and what have you, but that game mentally, obviously the beatings that they've been giving us as well, that meant a lot. So that wasn't a statement, that was more self-belief. But today for me, I felt that I wanted us to come out and make a statement. I wanted players to answer their critics. I wanted Ramsdale to step up after his error. I wanted Jesus to step up because people are saying that he hasn't been scoring. I wanted us to really go at it in the second half because people are saying that we've been fading away. I wanted to dominate the game. I wanted us to keep clean sheets. I wanted to score more than one. I wanted us, like, Forest were there, the perfect opponent to play at this time, and give them respect, obviously, what they did to Liverpool, but still the perfect opponent to come through. And let's not get this twisted. The amount of games that we have played in October, like, it's crazy. Like, it's absolutely raucous the amount of games that we've played. So put that into the factor as well of some of the, well, not poor performances, but let's say the dip in games. Let's give it as a dip in games. So coming to today, what I wanted to see was proactive, on the front foot, playing free-flowing football, and let's see where we were. So I made some notes because obviously I was on the train, so I was like getting a bit deep about it. So to be fair, we scored an early goal, which was needed. I think that wasn't quiet at the Emirates in the first half, but it was definitely a lot more reserved than it's been at previous games. But it was still positive, but it felt like, you know, previously it's the fans that maybe have given the players the lift, but this time it was maybe the players that needed to give the fans the lift. And as soon as Martinelli scored his goal, we were up and running. Great ball by Saka. And even though Saka probably played, 15, maybe 20 minutes of that, and if he played that much, like probably 10 minutes of it was decent, and the rest was, he was struggling with his knock. He was so influential with everything that he did. Like, literally the first half highlights at half time on the big screens, it was just all Saka. It was all Saka. But other than that, I thought we were poor in the first half. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was really languid. I thought it was really lazy. That's the term I'd use, lazy. You know, Partey playing it back. Odegaard playing it back. No one doing any overlaps. And I'll come to my overlap things with my fullbacks in a moment. But the first half was frustrating because my thing is at the moment is why are we not evolving? Why are we not growing to the level of being ruthless? Why are we not scoring one and sensing blood? Why are we not going in for the kill? Why do we think 1-0, let's just fuck about, toy about, play about, and just like why? Why do we do that? We constantly do that. We did it at Southampton, we got booked. Today, first half, Ben White did one of the greatest blocks I have ever seen in my life. Gabriel is a wild card, bro. You know he's got something in him each and every game. Each game this season, you can clock that Gabriel's done something. He's a wild card, right? This time, he just passed it to their player in his own area, yeah? And he shot. And listen, Ben White's block was outrageous, right? Difference is, if that goes in, we go into half-time 1-1, and the energy, the atmosphere, the doubt, the frustration, and we play ourselves into that. And it just, what pisses me off about this, right, is we don't need to, like, we could go score more goals like we did in the second half if we set the initiative. And I felt that, I've heard Arteta saying in interviews that for us to get to the next level, we have to develop that killer instinct. We have to kill games off. And I think, right, this half-time talk, he bollocked the players more than I think they've been bollocked in a long, long time. I really, really do. I think he's absolutely gone in at them, and they needed it. Because when are we going to grow out of this? How many times do we need to score one goal, play fuck about, dilly-dally, then get caught, and then, fortunately, this season, we've gone on to get that win. But why can't we start killing games off now? We've got to start growing to that next level. The mentality, the ethos to go for the kill. And second half, saw it in abundance. Shout out Reece Nelson. I thought when he came on first, like, it was a bold call. It was a bold call by Arteta to put him on. Do you know what I'm saying? But he was rewarded with that. I mean, his tracking back weren't there at the first half. Obviously, that's one thing you realise what you lose with Saka. Not been there. Him and Martinelli's work rate's unbelievable. But listen, Reece, he's all-round player, but obviously to get the goals and the way that he sacked two defenders, and then that finish, there's players on the line to put it where he finished it was sick. But listen, that second goal, the build-up with that, with Odegaard, the interchange with Jesus, and then Nelson's run. Come on, man. Unbelievable. I've seen some of the best goals I've ever seen him score, like team build play, like consistent, like play, the build up and the finishes. It was honestly, it was flawless football in that second half. That's what I put that. It's flawless football, and it was down to what I felt in the second half. Partey ran it. Odegaard was popping up everywhere. But do you know who's going to get my biggest props is Granit Xhaka. He might not have, if you watch highlights and if you didn't see the game, but Granit never hid. In the first half, he was the only one that was running on, trying. He was playing forward through the lines. He was the only one that was like literally confident enough in his ability to break through the lines. And I felt we needed that. And when everyone else raised it to his level, it was there. Granit was my man of the match, but also Ben White. Ben White boyed it at right back, bullying players, went centre back, bullying players, did a bad boy block. Like Ben White, honestly, don't get it twisted. Ben White, we have got a special player there. Final things that I want to touch on is really nice touch at the end. Ramsdale was like applauding the fans at the end, and then some kids have like noted like something to him, and he's clocked him. He's ran. He says, "Wait there." He's ran into the change room, and he's come back and he's given like a pair of his gloves, which I thought was a real good touch. I love that. But as much as it's been a great day, there's one thing that I need to talk about, and I spoke about it I spoke about it prior to, I think after the Liverpool game, I called it a masterstroke. Leeds, I felt it wasn't needed. Southampton, it pissed me off that it was done. And then today, the fact that Tierney isn't starting. Now, Tomiyasu had an unbelievable game today. And listen, I love Tomiyasu. I love Tomiyasu, right? Tomiyasu, for me, is our best right back. Ben White is playing unbelievable as right back, so you can't drop Ben White. I get that. I'm down with that, right? But to then nullify what for me is our best left back by playing Tomiyasu left back when he can't overlap, which means that nullifies Martinelli, which means that Martinelli has to come inside, but then you're throwing him into more defenders and more players where it's more convoluted and busy and congested, and then Jesus hasn't got the room. You need the overlaps. That's why when you've got the fullbacks like Ben White making the overlaps with Saka, it draws players out. When you've got Saka, you've got Odegaard inside and you've got Ben White making the overlaps. No one knows where to go, and then you can switch it over because they want to double up Saka or triple up Saka. But if you've got these options, then they can't do that. Whereas when Martinelli's getting isolated because he's got no overlap, and that's what I think suffered in the past 3 games. Against Leeds it did, against Southampton it did, and today in the first half it looked like it did. And listen, Tomiyasu had a good game, but you're telling me now, right? You're bringing on Cedric before Tierney, bro. Like, listen, it's rare that there's anything to like kick off at Arteta about this season, right? But this is stubbornness, and this is down to players' confidence now. Kieran Tierney is now 4th choice left back. It was only pre-season that we were contemplating that he could be captain. What's going on? You telling me that Kieran Tierney is not the ability to be our starting left back? I just don't get it. He gives us more of a threat attacking, and he's a great defender. I just don't get it. And I think putting Cedric on before, there's something that's happened. I feel there's something that must have gone off that's said, and there's something there. So I just pray that whatever it is, I know I'm assuming that there's something that's happened. And Tierney walked down at the tunnel. It wasn't like a kick-off like Nobed Ronaldo walk-off, but the way that he walked off, you could tell he was screwing. So I pray that whatever it is, I pray that as a man manager, he can sort this situation out, because at the moment, I don't know what, it's fuckery, if I'm being honest. I don't get it. But yeah, if, winning 5-0, but having that to gripe about, it is what it is. But the final shout that I want to end on is a positive. It's the way that we celebrated and showed love to Mari. It just shows that, there's things in life that make life feel more real and fragile, and things that make you appreciate just what life is. You know what I'm saying? We see these people on TV and we think that they're impenetrable, or, we have a life and it is as well. And, when you see something like that, it shooks you, do you know what I'm saying? So, just sending love to him and the people that were around the situation, and just sending love to everyone, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, not getting on a deep one, but we just got to be cool and kind to one another. Do you know what I'm saying, man? That's how I live my life, and that's what I want to share with you all. So let's love one another, but nah, man, on a real, let's just be sound to one another. Do you know what I mean? It's simple as. And on that note, victory through harmony, Victoria Concordia Creset. We move top of the league. Let's see how we got on with these last 4 games, especially the 2 Premier League games, and see if we can finish top of the league, taking us into the break of the World Cup. Peace.